Kong in the trunk.
I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. Let me take a quick second to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for joining the Rhodes Squadron. Today, let's talk about something very interesting. Bob Iger, Big Daddy Bob, makes some statements that are kind of revealing of what he thinks about Star Wars and possibly the quality of Star Wars, if you read between the lines. And he makes some interesting comments about future projects as well. Article is from Digital Spy, Ian Sandwell. Disney CEO Bob Iger has admitted that the company made a mistake with the Star Wars movies and how it'll change the future of the franchise. Since Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012, we have had two main episode movies, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and two spin-off movies, Rogue One and Solo, with episode 9 to come next year, as well as two separate follow-up movie series and TV shows in the works. In an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Iger has revealed that there is perhaps had been too many movies in too little time. Quote, I made the timing decision, and as I look back, I think the mistake that I made, I can take the blame, was a little too much too fast. You can expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. J.J. Abrams is busy making 9, he explained. We have creative entities, including Game of Thrones creators Benioff and Weiss, who are developing sagas of their own, which we haven't been specific about. And we're just at a point where we're going to start making decisions about what comes next after JJ's. But I think we're going to be a little bit more careful about volume and timing. The buck stops here on that. And the article goes on to actually, and I don't cover this, it actually goes on to talk about Rian Johnson's trilogy. However, if you go to the original source, which is an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Bob Iger never mentions Rian Johnson. It tells me, and by the way, on a side note, he did fully support getting rid of James Gunn, which I give him some credit for. But he does not mention Rian Johnson's trilogy. Digital Spy tried to throw it in themselves, but it was not part of the quote because I went back to the actual source. So what does this mean? Well, there is a couple of things, and I've said before, I liked Solo a great deal. I think Disney has got some issues also with their wording on this marketing. I think Solo would have been better off having been called something like Han Solo, a Star Wars adventure. Because to me, that's what it came across as. Sure, it was a Star Wars story, but it was an adventure film. And I think maybe if some of the marketing change on that would be made, it would help a movie like that. I also believe it was much too close to The Last Jedi. Dropping that movie 5 months under the circumstances of the backlash from The Last Jedi, rightfully so, okay? Solo was the first Star Wars movie I had not seen on opening day in basically 38 years since. Well, I saw the last one I had not seen on opening day was The Empire Strikes Back. I saw Return of the Jedi opening day in '83. So that includes all the prequels, all the special editions, The Force Awakens, Rogue One. I waited 4 days on Solo, and that was kind of part of my little boycott. And it was not only about The Last Jedi, but it was specifically about John Kasdan's irresponsible ass comments when it came to Lando Calrissian. I had a major problem with that, and I think that helped tank Solo along with the backlash. Bob Iger is absolutely right. They need to slow down. They need to take a deep breath. They need to take a hard look at where they are at creatively, because I always call it 55% of the fan base, myself included, does not like the direction that at least they're going from a saga standpoint. It is beyond me, and I will continue to say it, how The Last Jedi even got greenlit. Okay? And back when Grace Randolph had that story about the big meeting they had, she had reported in that meeting that Bob Iger did not like The Last Jedi as a movie. Evidently, Kathleen Kennedy loved the movie. And that should tell us something about Kathleen Kennedy. By the way, in looking at the source for this article, he never brings up Kathleen Kennedy. I think there's an indication here, because this was sort of a state of the direction of Disney creatively interview in The Hollywood Reporter. Kathleen Kennedy was never brought up. Rian Johnson was never brought up. And they talked about Marvel, they talked about Fox, they talked about Deadpool, they even talked about Star Wars Land, Galaxy, all of this stuff. And Kathleen Kennedy is nowhere to be found in this interview, which to me speaks volumes, because Kevin Feige was absolutely talked about from the Marvel side. And he's talking about Kevin's ideas and blah, blah, blah. So I think that tells us something. I think Kathleen Kennedy is gone. And I think Rian Johnson is also gone. They let Rian Johnson dismantle the Star Wars franchise. Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars. And he destroyed it. It's amazing to me that there's a section of Star Wars fans that don't see that. The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars. And it's sad. I've got subscribers in my comments almost daily saying, we want Luke back alive. And that makes me sad. As a Star Wars fan, it makes me sad that their hero has been treated like that. I'm not a Luke guy, but if they would have sent Han out in a way that I didn't think was fitting, and I thought it was fitting, I thought it was an Obi-Wan type moment in The Force Awakens. He sacrificed himself, but I was prepared for it going in the movie. I said Harrison will have this character killed off. I got lucky because they didn't kill Chewie and they didn't destroy the Falcon, which I was nervous about going in, but I knew Han would die and I was comfortable with it. Rian Johnson treated Luke Skywalker like a punk. And it's sad. It's really sad. Anyway, if you like these Rhodes Rants, please like and subscribe. Join the Rhodes Squadron. Super punch that like button and seek and destroy that subscribe button. Peace. I'm out. Until next time. I got King Kong in the trunk.